Hello and welcome back to the Making the Radio Cut blog. I'm Michelle, and on the phone with me tonight is Diaz, the night jock at WJJS in Roanoke, Virginia, and the man behind such bits as this.
95.9 KISS FM. It's Diaz. Unfortunately, got some very, very bad news last night. Our weekender, Michelle, hit me up. Hysterical. Like, what's wrong, Michelle? What's going on? She's like, oh, Diaz, oh, God. Our 95.9 KISS FM Durango is dead. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, our station vehicle, our KISS Durango, has died. I just wanted to take a second to pay tribute to it. The 95.9 KISS FM Durango. That even though I wasn't allowed to, I would smoke cigarettes in and never tell my boss. The KISS Durango that took me to my very first club night at the Colonial House on Market Street. The KISS Durango that housed my burrito wrappers for years and years and years. The KISS Durango that I puked inside of one night outside of Pal Joey's that I never told anybody. Rusted, crusty, beat down hunk of junk Durango. I loved you like no other. And you will be missed. Our 95.9 KISS FM Durango.
So, Diaz, welcome to the blog, and we'll get right into our first question. What led you to a career in radio?
Well, I was I hate to use the word, but I was a crazy rave DJ, pretty much all through my senior year of high school and a few years after that. And I always loved spinning records, but I got sick of getting paid in, like, glow sticks and bar tabs, because my landlord doesn't accept glow sticks or bar tabs as a form of rent. So I wanted to be around music. I wanted to do something like that, and I decided radio would probably be the closest thing to that career.
So did you have a plan B, and what was it if you did?
I never really had a plan B. As a plan B, my ability to kind of spin records always leads to extra income, and worst case scenario, that can always kind of sustain me until something else comes along. But it's always pretty much been radio. Telemarketer for a while, but that sucked. Good money, but it sucked. I robbed old people for their money and sold them crappy windows. I would tell them that our windows are so good tornadoes would bounce off them, and then they would buy them.
I was going to say, how many people actually believed you?
Oh, I made a lot of money there. Resash, baby. They're out of business now. They used to be in Hubbard. They went to jail.
I gotcha.
But anyway.
Go figure. So you went to OCB, right?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, walk me through the decision to do a broadcasting school instead of like a 4-year college.
Well, I actually went to YSU for a year, and it was turning out to be way more expensive and way longer for me to get to what I really wanted to do. You know, I knew I wanted to be in radio. For me to do 4 years of electives and not even kind of get into communications and not really have any hands-on experience, it seemed like the long way to go. And as radio goes, I started when I was like 23, which is actually kind of old to be getting into radio. So I'm like, wow, I graduated when I'm 27. Then I'd be 27 just looking for a job. OCB was a 10-month program, in and out. And I liked the fact that the teachers were people that worked in business, in the radio business. And that's actually how I got my job, through one of my instructors. So it worked out great for me.
And I should probably clarify for those listening that don't know what OCB is. OCB is the Ohio Center for Broadcasting. So, Diaz, do you think there's anything else you got out of a broadcasting school that you wouldn't have gotten from a college?
Just how they, especially in OCB, they throw a lot of work at you, and it's very much a sink-or-swim environment. In radio, it's definitely a sink-or-swim environment. And that's not so much with, like, a 4-year college, because you have professors that'll kind of hold your hand and whatnot. At OCB, either you do it and it's done and it's good, or you don't, and nobody says a word to you either way, which is exactly like radio. You can go in and have a horrible show one night, and nobody will say anything to you about it. Trust me, I know.
At least you're honest about it.
Right.
How about the biggest challenge you faced in radio, and how did you overcome it?
Honestly, it was getting used to being on air. I never really wanted to be on air when I started. I was a pretty big imaging dork. And I just wanted to sit in a little studio and make weird imaging sounds and sweepers and whatnot, and that was it. Then just out of necessity, Jerry Mack, who we all know and love, kind of threw me on the air as fill-ins. And after I stopped having a lot of dead air, they called me Dead Air Diaz for a while, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, after I got over that and kind of learned how an on-air shift is supposed to sound and work, I really, really liked it. So I guess my biggest challenge would be just kind of going from the production side to the on-air side.
So describe the process of getting your first full-time gig.
Actually, this is going to sound extremely cocky and arrogant, and people are going to hate me, but it was actually very, very easy. Like I said, I was going to OCB, and my instructor, Doc Thompson, who was a producer for the Lanigan Malone show up at Clear Channel in Cleveland, he really liked a lot of the projects I was doing, and he invited me to come in and sit with all the imaging guys up there. So while other interns were out, like, hanging out at Tower City and hanging banners, I was in the imaging studios putting together sweepers and whatnot. And the old imaging guy for Kiss FM in Cleveland was the guy A.J. Allen, who was the voice guy for Kiss FM in Youngstown. He took my demo and he sent a letter to Jerry Mack, and it just so happened a month after I graduated, Kiss in Youngstown had an opening. And bada bing, bada boom, I was there.
Well, there you go. Right place, right time. And I hate to do this, but we're actually running short on time for today. So let's do this. We'll bring Diaz back for part 2 of the interview, and you can find that right here on the blog next week.